Concert Crew Podcast, we back again.
Yes, sir.
Today we
need to know it.
Today we celebrate, and this would have been Big Pun's 50. He would have turned 50 years old. He would be 50 years old. So we Big Pun 50. We celebrating for Big Pun. He would have been 50 years old. Wow, Big Pun, legend in the game. When did you first hear about Big Pun?
Wow, man.
What's that song with?
I can't even make up no lies, but I know that, like, I really got on to him when he really did this, when he did this album. Like, I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
at the release party?
This kind of, nah. This kind of took me to his situation, you know what I'm saying? Besides the little features he had with Fat Joe, but this right here put me in that mode, like, whoa, like, this dude nice.
First time I heard Pun was Off the Books with him, the Beat Nuts, and they had a video for it. Off the Books this year.
That was a classic.
I was like, yo, this big dude is
that was one of my favorite
killing
songs.
it. Yeah.
I heard Off the Hook this year, which I thought was a great song. But when I really first heard him before, but I didn't really know who he was like that. And I did hear Off the Books, but I didn't really know who Big Pun was until I actually heard and saw him. And that was on I'm Not a Player video and song, which I love. And that's when I didn't really see him or know who he was, or his name wasn't ringing early like some other people to me. I didn't really hear and see him and have a name attached to him and a face attached to him until I seen the I'm Not a Player video with like the Scarface kind of theme also in there, and then I liked the song. That's when I kind of then he had the OJs in there,
actual OJs
which I thought was super dope. So that's when the OJs. That's when I'm Not a Player is kind of when I first.
You know who's in that video? Raekwon
in back of him, for sure. Another great cosign. He had a couple dudes in there with him. Fat Joe. It was somebody else, another dope person in there too. I can't think of it off the top of my head that was in that video too. But that's the first time, I heard a Big Pun for sure. Dope, right before to get the buzz start rolling for the Capital Punishment album. Mm-hmm. Now, a little history on Big Pun. Christopher Lee Rios was his real name. He was born on November 10th, 1971 in the Bronx, New York. His two parents was of Puerto Rican descent. He grew up in the South Bronx. He actually played basketball and trained for boxing as a youngster. And if you actually see pictures of Big Pun, he was super fit. He was muscular and all that when he was young.
Bodyguard material.
Yeah, so he wasn't always like a big guy, but he moved out of his mom's house when he was 15 years old, and he was actually homeless for a period of time in the late 1980s. Later, he received a large settlement from the city stemming from an incident in 1976 where he broke his leg while playing in the park, which is crazy. Using this settlement money, Big Pun, or Christopher Rios at the time, married his high school sweetheart Lisa, and the two moved into a home together. Now, Christopher Rios, he struggled with depression stemming from his turbulent childhood, which he didn't really speak a lot about, and he coped with it by overeating. Between the ages of 18 and 21, he went from 180 pounds to 300 pounds in that period of time. Mm-hmm. During the late 1980s, he began writing rap lyrics. He later formed an underground group called Full Eclipse. He made a number of recordings with the group in the 1990s, but like none of it never actually like came out officially, kind of thing like that. And at this time, he was going by the name of Big Moon Dog. that was his rap name. After changing his name to Big Punisher, Christopher Rios met Puerto Rican and fellow Puerto Rican and Bronx rapper Fat Joe in 1995, and he made his commercial debut on Fat Joe's second album, Jealous Ones Still Envy. And he also appeared, like Sean said, on the Beat Nut song Off the Books. Fat Joe helped Big Pun get a solo deal with Loud Records, and in 1997, Big Pun began recording songs for his debut album, Capital Punishment. Big Pun recorded the song I'm Not a Player, and then he linked up with the producer Nobody to remix the song, titling it Still Not a Player. Still Not a Player became a big mainstream success, and it built a lot of momentum for the album, Capital Punishment that we got right here. Capital Punishment came out in 1998, and it became he became the first album by a solo Latino rapper to go platinum, which is a big deal.
Huge deal.
Capital Punishment was also nominated that year for a Grammy Award for Best Rap Album, which is super dope. Big Pun struggled with weight issues his entire adult life. He enrolled in a weight loss program at Duke University in 1999. He actually lost 80 pounds, but he prematurely quit the program, started eating again, gained all the weight back. It got to the point where he got in arguments with his friends and people close to him, and he would just he would not eat around them to kind of hide it. But it wasn't like people was not saying nothing to him. People were saying stuff to him, trying to get him to change his lifestyle and all that. So it wasn't like they were just letting them yes men kind of thing. It wasn't like that at all. On February 5th, 2000, Big Pun withdrew from a planned Saturday Night Live performance with Fat Joe and Jennifer Lopez due to illness. 2 days later, while staying at a hotel with his family in White Plains, New York, he suffered a heart attack and respiratory failure and was taken to the hospital, where he died at the age of 28 after paramedics were unable to revive him. Big Pun weight reached a peak at 698 pounds at the time of his death. He was survived by his wife, Lisa, and their 3 children, Star, Vanessa, and Christopher Jr. Big Pun, that was crazy, man. That was crazy when Big Pun passed away. But to go back real quick to Big Pun, we talked about his history, but Big Pun the MC, how would you describe his style? Big Pun as an MC.
It's deadly, just fast paced bars, just
heavy verbal intercourse.
Very, very witty, clever with his he can spit out a lot of syllables and words, you know what I'm saying? He can get it out and it still makes sense, you know what I mean?
It actually, looking back at it, it's actually very impressive because, even though he wasn't at his biggest weight when he first came out, he was still a big, very large guy. And for him to be able to fit that many words in a sentence without breathing sometimes.
The breath control.
Yeah, it crazy. It was amazing. People couldn't even do, people couldn't do that. Say that many words without breathing at that weight.
Yep.
It was amazing, what he was able to do with words at that rapid, quick pace like that. It was impressive. His style was impressive, man. Just it was like rapid fire.
Pun was dope, man.
Yeah, Pun
was just no.
And it was a distinctive style because people couldn't do that. So he had a different style with him. Definitely was a different whole kind of approach. So, what did y'all think Big Pun meant to the Spanish community?
I think he was a dope lyricist that gave him hope. We like hip hop too. Y'all, we was at the parties, the block parties with y'all, getting on the mic, but now we finally got our guy who's actually Puerto Rican, who's getting co-signed by the people that's black, you know what I'm saying? And he's actually dope. He's really, really dope.
Right.
So I feel like this is our guy, you know what I mean? And I kind of kicked down. No disrespect to Fat Joe or anybody else who came before, but it's this is our guy.
It was it.
It was Spanish. It was a couple of Spanish rappers, but he was major, man. He was major, and not only did he go platinum, which was a big deal first, but he also got nominated for a Grammy. And I think even for everybody that came after him, even if you wasn't a rapper, it was a big deal coming from the Spanish community because it was we can really take this far too, in this hip hop thing. It's not just a black thing, even though we're in the hood coming up with you. We could take it. This is a guy that comes from the hood like us, and look where he took it. We could take it there too.
And Pun dope though. Overall, Pun dope. It ain't no secret. You feel me?
And you got to understand in New York and all that, it's big Puerto Rican Spanish community, so they're heavy populated. So for them, it was wow, kind of the white people felt about Eminem, the Spanish people felt that about Big Pun. This guy is a really respectable guy, and no shade to nobody that came before him, not even Fat Joe. But this guy took it.
He's different.
He's different.
He's different. He can
rap.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, he was a problem. So Big Pun got on. You know, he kind of, you know, Fat Joe. He took Fat Joe. Fat Joe was respected, but he took him to another level. Then the Terror Squad comes about. So what did Big Pun mean to Terror Squad?
A whole lot, because that was his team in somewhat form of fashion. Because think about it, all them people that was rapping, they was already kind of rapping with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he brought them on once he knew that he was at a point to bring people on and to add people to his to what he knew what was good, to which was the Terror Squad. You can see the whole difference. And you can see the difference now. Who's still
a lot of the people in full clip, they actually came into the they were in the terror. They came with him. Like Cuban Links was down with Big Pun from the beginning of Full of Clip, and I think Triple Sace as well. They were from Full of Clip, so they got brought into the Terror Squad due to him. But man, Big Pun was the glue at Terror Squad. He was
Definitely the glue.
Like when Big Pun got popping with Capital Punishment,
Yep.
you know, one of my favorite other albums was, I think, Don Cartagena from Fat Joe is a classic. But I don't think Don Cartagena from Fat Joe would be I don't think it would be a classic without the momentum of Big Pun.
Yeah.
Big Pun created that momentum, and with that, he gave the Terror Squad a respected name because of him. But he was the glue. Even though Fat Joe was the brains and stuff behind it, Big Pun was the glue.
Yeah,
like he
Big
brought
Pun,
that together.
Big Pun was that, and not only that, he was the best lyricist.
All right,
hands down.
Clearly,
you know what I'm saying?
Clearly.
And then he had other people that was coming with him, that was coming up under the ranks of him, like his brother, Cuban Link.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So all that played a part.
Absolutely. So we got Capital Punishment right here, his debut album. Let's talk about the impact of Capital Punishment when that hit. Man, like
this was the motherfucking Clearfield days, man, with the staple in the bag, man. We used to ride up to Philly, man, get the motherfucking 20 sacks, man. The Clearfield, man, with the staples in the bag. This when that album was out, dog. This one we used to pump that joint. You know who used to pump this joint real heavy?
Who's that?
He had the motherfucking, what's the name of them cars, man? But anyway, 40 from Lacey's, 400 of them peoples.
Okay.
This was his God. Word, this was 40 peoples, man. 40 used to fuck with Big Pun, and me and 40 used to ride up to get the motherfucking staples. And he used to always throw Pun on, and that's who really kind of turned me out on Pun, 40. Real rap. The Probes. Remember the Probes?
Yeah.
The black, like the sports car Probes back in the day?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 40 had one of them joints with the rums on it.
This album was a class. First of all, I remember I'm Not a Player. Then I remember Still Not a Player hit. And that single, everything was huge. Joe, the whole video, that song was a party, hip hop, classic, anthem, radio anthem.
Ready to go.
So then at that point, he was ready to go. But when Capital Punishment dropped, Capital Punishment, don't get it twisted with the singles. It's a hip hop album, and I remember the artwork. He got the
heavy hip hop.
He got the girl, the lady with the Statue of Liberty outfit, her titties and all out. He in there, and it was this is a dope album, man. Punish Me, super lyrical with the cosign from Black Thought. Prodigy's on there giving them a cosign.
Got a RZA beat on here.
I gave you fair warning. Beware's on. It's crazy, man. Twins with Fat Joe remaking Deep Cover. Like he got Boomerang was another one of my favorite. Dream Shatterer.
You came up with Nori.
You came up. What? Making it happen.
Parental Discretion with Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, I used to like Punish Me with the joint with Miss Jones, I think. Come back. That's like the R&B joint.
Punish me.
He had something for everybody on here. He had something for everybody.
Even the intro was dope when he was
You know where I'm from, right?
Well, it came from Fresh.
Yeah.
Came from Fresh, the movie Fresh. That was
Bam,
my shit.
Spider-Man go down. Bam.
Hey, don't leave me hanging, baby.
Man. All them cosmic powers ain't shit.
You might gotta go watch that again, Carl. Good movie, man. I'm just saying,
Fresh
man.
in the collection,
You ain't
man.
excited as me and
Packing
Sean.
the back and back of the act. Packing the back and back of the act. Nah. This joint was crazy, man.
Yeah,
it was something for everybody. I definitely think that it was a classic.
Absolutely,
this is a classic album. Like you said, Sean, Loud Records again. Loud Records for the
Pull
win
it off
again.
again.
Oh, yo.
Pull it off again.
You know that's where I heard Big Pun on the Funk Flex, like, was it part 2 or 3?
16 minutes.
The 60 minutes of Funk. Like, he had a song with Fat Joe and Big Pun was on there. And I was like, yo, this dude is nice. And then I seen him off the, once again on Loud Records again. Let's throw that out there.
Yeah. And Capital Punishment came out in 1998, which I think was another great year of hip hop. And this was actually in my top 5 from 1998. I remember I remember my top 10, and this was in my top 5. I can't remember which number, but it was after Jay-Z and DMX and maybe a few other people. But this album was dope right here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Classic.
He actually went toe-to-toe with Black Thought, and I feel like he actually got the best of Black Thought.
Yeah,
which is,
and Black Thought's a problem.
And Black Thought is definitely a problem.
And Black Thought speaks very highly, and you know what kind of alien MC he is, and he speaks very highly of Big Pun, very highly of Big Pun. Yeah, this album was big. Big Pun, he put a mark in the game. He made a mark in the game with this.
Anytime you get Miss Jones on the album, man, it's something special from what I'm hearing. Because Miss Jones don't fuck with everybody like that. She thorough. You know what I'm saying?
Classic. Capital Punishment's a classic. Yeah. All right, let's talk. We talked about Capital Punishment, the impact of that. Let's talk about Big Pun and his relationship with Fat Joe, because these two, you pretty much couldn't see Big Pun without Fat Joe during that time. So how would you describe their relationship?
I would say that's his man. I mean, he
twins.
put him on.
They call themselves the twins.
Put him on.
They call themselves the twins.
So, and Fat Joe, man, Fat Joe's still holding him down to this day, man. Due to everything that has transpired on his end and due to the stories that we're hearing. But him and Big Pun, man, they was made for each other to push each other in this rap game, man. So I know that when he lost Big Pun, man, that was a huge blow, man. It touched him some type way, man. But legacy lives on because now we're hearing that his son is nice. You know what I'm saying? So
Chris Rivers can rap.
Yeah,
his
you know
son,
what I'm saying.
Chris Rivers
So
can definitely rap.
So hopefully, that type love gets showed and it continue to go on, man. But Pun was dope, man. Pun was the man.
Yeah, Pun and Fat Joe was brothers, man. Like they always was together. Big Pun represented Terror Squad to the fullest, and that was Fat Joe's thing that he started out. But Big Pun represented TS to the fullest. He had tattoos.
Chain.
He had the gigantic TS chain. He represented Terror Squad to the fullest. And him and Fat Joe was brothers. I mean, you heard stories about them beating up people. You know what I'm saying? Them pulling out guns on people. Like, they was not to be messed with in hip hop. Like, they was about that life. You hear him throwing people down stairwells. Like, this is all stuff that you hear about the Terror Squad and particularly Fat Joe and Big Pun. Like, they was not to be played with. And together, like, they were always together. Like, it was really a brotherhood. And no matter what people can say about them, I know he's had problems with the family, and stuff, and communication on that end.
Yep.
But can't nobody take away from Big Pun and Fat Joe brotherhood. And even to go back to the album, Fat Joe had, Big Pun had, on his first debut album, he got people like Black Thought, Wyclef, Busta Rhymes,
Inspector Deck,
Inspector
Prodigy, Busta Rhymes,
like
Noriega.
These is big names, and Fat Joe was a part of like being able to put that together and get these people to support to support him. So I think they were brothers for real. Like, you got them his pictures of them on the red or like carpets of awards with like these big gigantic suits they got on.
Rebel INS.
This is when Fat Joe was a big guy too. It was Fat Joe and Big Pun. They was some big guys, man.
Yeah. Not only that, man, they They was well respected, man. And then for both of them to come from the Latino community
in the Bronx, they was
you know what I'm saying, and bring what they was bringing to the table, and made it, it brought something to hip hop.
But I think also it shows that how big of a heart Fat Joe has, because I'm sure Fat Joe was like, "Yo, you're a way better MC than me. And I'm gonna put you on to you be the forefront. I'm gonna pass you the baton. Like, yo, go through this door.
I'm gonna back whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna back whatever you need.
Yeah.
And to me, that's dope. You know what I mean? That's a true friend. That's a true brother. And he's doing it so other Latin MCs or Puerto Rican MCs can get on and be proud to rep their flag. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, man, because Fat Joe could have been selfish, like, yo, I was on first,
Exactly.
You gotta wait your turn. Nah, he was like, yo, this dude's a problem. You go.
Yeah, you go first.
Let's go with you. Like, you that guy. Because if you hot, you make us all look hot. So let's go with you, because I know these niggas can't mess with you, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fat Joe's always on the record with saying, like, yo, Big Pun's the greatest,
Yeah.
He's saying, y'all can't see this dude. And he held the flag. And it's even a dope picture of them, which I love always when I see it, is Big Pun and Fat Joe's holding the umbrella in back of him. I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
That's a dope picture.
Yeah. Getting rained
like,
on.
yeah, it's like, yo, that's a dope picture. Like, yo, I'm carrying it for you. Like, I got you, dog. You that guy. I'm holding the umbrella for you. I love that picture. Every time I see that, John, I think that's dope. They had a true brotherhood. Yeah. I don't care what the problem is, the family that's mad at him. You can't deny that Big Pun loved.
Just kind of sad that we'd never see that documentary or that movie like that was made for Pac and Biggie. We won't see that for Pun. It don't look like it anyway as of right now.
Hey, man, you can never say never, but there was a lot of ugly stuff on both sides. But you can't deny that Fat Joe loved Big Pun. And I never heard Big Pun say anything that he had any problem with Fat Joe.
Definitely.
No matter what was going on. I never heard him say he had any problem with Fat Joe. So to me, that they had a true brotherhood that can be denied. One of the great brotherhoods of hip hop. And during their run, like, them guys are I always seen Fat Joe and Big Pun. They was like hand to hand, seeing them guys together. For real. So, man, what about Big Pun? When we think about Big Pun, of course, we think, his name was Big Punisher, Big Pun. He was a big guy. What about his struggles with his weight problem?
I mean, I think that, in any community needs to talk about any type of addiction, whether it's liquor, food, you know what I mean? Just things people do to cope with what they have inside. It might sound crazy, like how you eat yourself to death, but I mean, I think even like what we eat normally, we need to even kind of think about that type of stuff. Can we eat healthier foods, or you know what I mean? Like, why are we doing this to ourselves? But depression is real. I mean, whatever people do to feel happy, whether they smoking or they drinking or doing whatever, you know what I mean? Things like this needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think in hip hop history, we had the Fat Boys, we had Heavy D. I don't think we have ever seen anybody as large as Big Pun on his level. Yeah. That was as large as Big Pun. This was a very large guy, and towards the end, I never actually seen Big Pun live, but he was performing sitting down. He wasn't he couldn't even stand up. This is at the point. This is how large he was. So that is a major problem. So I can see how the people around him were concerned about him, because you can't even perform. And his breath control was getting worse as he was getting. He couldn't do all them lyrics like he did because he was getting even bigger.
I believe he had sleep apnea too.
Yeah, he did. I did.
So that was
just fall asleep.
Yeah, his wife would be slapping him, make sure he's not even breathing.
They said he was like being mid conversation and just fall asleep. So that's
like a narcoleptic.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That sleep apnea is a big deal. So this is, I think this is kind of uncharted territory in hip hop. I don't think nobody really knew how to deal with nothing like that.
I agree.
I mean, but also to think, like, when I was younger, I was like, man, he's 28, and now it's like, you older, it's like, damn, he really died at 28. That's young as hell.
Word.
Yeah.
Like, all this could have been avoided.
A lot of life.
A lot of
life, man.
So you remember when he passed away, and what was your reaction when you first heard it? That was 2000, year 2000.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, and then obviously people making jokes, like, just stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
that's
whatever.
weak.
But
That's
it's
weak.
very weak. But I just couldn't believe it. Like, man, he was a dope MC.
It was kind of surprising to me because I heard that he was actually trying to get himself in shape and trying to work on himself. So it was kind of surprising, but I wasn't surprised due to they saying the health complications and stuff that he was having. But moreover, it was kind of heartbreaking, being as though that they said that he was on the path of trying to, you know.
I heard he was about to try to go to another fat farm kind of thing. He was about to go to another fat farm, and he was trying. Even the song "It's So Hard," he like, I just lost 100 pounds. I'm trying to live. So that showed me that where his mind was at. But he was a large guy, and I can't say. When I found out why, I can't say I was surprised because I seen him and I seen how large he was. So when I heard the reasoning, I'm like, wow, I can see that. But still, just somebody being that young and so talented to be lost so early, it was like it's unfortunate. But he was so big, unfortunately, I could see how you could pass away from being that weight. But it was a tough. It was a blow for hip hop. What do you think was the impact of that loss on hip hop, though?
I mean, it's just just another what if. Like, what if he was to keep living? What if Tupac was still here? What if Biggie was? It's just another what if story in hip hop. It sucks.
Yeah, it's two layers to it. It's an overall hip hop perspective. An overall hip hop perspective, I feel like it was a big loss to hip hop. We lost a great MC, one of the best MCs. And just to not hear future music from him, only really, to hear a couple albums from him in a short period of time, that's very unfortunate because somebody so talented, you want to hear more bodies of work from him. So overall, hip hop, that was unfortunate. And then from his close circle perspective, it was a big impact on the Terror Squad, man, because Pun was the glue that kept them together. Yeah. And I feel like in hip hop, it's this thing. I feel like when Big Pun passed, you never got to see really Terror Squad really fulfill, what they could have been. So if Big Pun was alive,
Tony Sunshine, all them dudes.
If Big Pun was still alive, Cuban Link would have had more success as a solo artist. Triple Six and Armageddon and them would have came out.
Armageddon, because they say Armageddon was the one.
Yeah, they said he was nice. Yeah. All of them were going to come off the momentum that Big Pun was going to keep going. Remy Ma was going to come off the momentum of Big Pun. So you never got to, to hear that. Fat Joe would have kept going. Fat Joe had to stop and regroup because Big Pun wasn't there. When Big Pun's around and you got the Terror Squad and the whole crew, it's easier for everybody to move. So I think all of that fallout that happened afterwards was a direct result of Big Pun being the glue and not being around. Just like if Pac was still alive, Outlaws and Fatal Hussein would have had more success. Junior Mafia would have had more success if Biggie was alive. Lil C's would have probably had more success as a solo artist and other stuff. But when you don't got that front guy there, that cuts all that away. I think all of the drama with the Terror Squad and them falling out, Cuban Links with Fat Joe, that's the direct, because, Cuban Link was Pun's little man. So now I got to go to Fat Joe. Cuban Link ain't really my little man, but you Pun's guy. Yeah. I'm trying to deal with you, and you like, me and Pun do it this way. Fat Joe like, you know what I'm saying? I do it this way. I'm never a dude that's running this now. Yeah. So you don't got that middleman to smooth it over. So I think as his team, it hurt everybody, man. It hurt the whole team.
But then I think it really hurt like the Puerto Rican MCs coming up, who really looked and loved this dude. Like, damn, I can't believe we lost our Biggie. This is our Pac. You know what I'm saying?
So then you can have, and then you can also get that. You can look forward to getting that cosign from Big Pun. Big Pun said I'm nice. So then that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a real big deal.
Yeah. So this dude, that was a big loss to hip hop. Big loss to Terror Squad, Fat Joe. Everybody, Remy Ma didn't even really chance to really get into her career yet, and Pun was the reason that Pun brought her in out the projects, out the hood, and he ain't never really get a chance to see her shine before he passed away, which is unfortunate. So after he passed away, he released the posthumous album, the second album, Yeah Baby. Now, this wasn't Biggie duets because he actually did record this music. But So we can't judge it off of that. He actually recorded this material. So what do you feel about Yeah Baby as an album?
It was a good album as of it being put together off of what they had. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't mad at it. And then, you know, everybody that came out to help finish the album and help the videos just by showing up and representing, I thought it was dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Just to keep the wheels turning a little bit for the big pun fans.
Well, It's So Hard was a dope single. 100% was a dope single. I actually think this album was finished. So this is how he intended it to be. It just came out after he passed away. I actually got a theory about Yeah Baby.
What's that?
The reason why I don't think Yeah Baby was as good as Capital Punishment. I think Yeah Baby wasn't as good as Capital Punishment because Big Pun was getting so big and his health was getting so out of control that he wasn't in a happy place.
Right.
So musically, he wasn't as sharp lyrically because of the way his health was, his weight. It wasn't in a good place. So all that crazy lyrical ability that you seen on the first album, that wasn't like that on Yeah Baby. The songs wasn't as great. The songs wasn't hitting as hard. It was a good album, but after you heard Capital Punishment, it wasn't up to that standard. So I think the health leads to depression and all of that. I think that led to the level of music because the music wasn't overall. It wasn't Capital Punishment at all.
Absolutely,
it was an all right to good album. But now Big Pun showed us kind of the bar now.
Yeah.
So now it's like, damn, you fell short of that though.
Yeah, but Capital Punishment was it came at the right time as well. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was dope, so you know how that go.
And also, not just Yeah Baby, I feel like the Terror Squad album also was it didn't live up to expectations. I don't think that joint was that great neither compared to the potential that they had. I don't know if they rushed it or what, but the Terror Squad album that came out before that joint wasn't that good neither, man. Nah, that joint, it wasn't hitting.
It didn't hit the spot.
It wasn't hitting like that. What is your favorite Big Pun song?
Oh man, it gotta be his own joint, right?
Yeah, Big Pun song. Yeah.
Nah, still not a player, man. With Joe, I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna go with always like Beware and Parental Discretion. I like that joint.
That video for Still Not a Player, man. It was.
I'm actually gonna go with I'm Not a Player. That was my joint, oh my darling, baby.
With the OJs.
And then OJ's hitting the moves of that joint. You are everything ever on it.
That joint was still hood too.
Yeah, and then I also like he had a version, not the version on the album, but he had a version of Dream Shatter where he's rapping over Black Rob's beat. Yeah, not the album version. He's rapping over Black Rob's beat, and he is killing this joint.
What beat?
I think it's I Dare You to Come Against Me. Yeah. I think he actually put it on the Endangered Species joint he dropped, which is kind of like greatest hits. But he's rapping over the Black Rob beat, and he's killing that. It's the Dream Shatterer beat though.
Damn,
he's killing that joint. And I'm gonna go with them too, man. I'm gonna go with them too. I like that I'm Not a Player. That's one of my that song. What about favorite Big Pun verse or verses?
I'm gonna have to go, man. Probably I
know for me,
I'm gonna go on Fat Joe, man. On Fat Joe joint, man. What's the name of that track again, man?
John Blaze.
John Blaze. I'm gonna have to go with
He
John
said,
Blaze.
even if I stuttered, I would still shit on you. God damn.
John Blaze, man.
That's what I was gonna say. John Blaze joint. Classic.
Terror Squad, Veda Kappa, everybody's favorite rapper. Yo, he killed that verse. That's actually my number 2. My number 1 is Twins Deep Cover 98. That little didn't do diddly like that. That verse is ridiculous, man. And then number 2 is John Blaze, and number 3 is Banned for TV. That number 3, that's my. So I got Twins Deep Cover 98. Then I got John Blaze. Then I got Banned from TV.
Yeah, Pun's a problem, yo.
Nah, big Pun, man. Like he got some crazy. But I also like the off the hook verse. You know, off the books this year. I'm sorry, off the books this year. Yeah. He kills that joint. A lot though. Actually, he got a a
little sample of that song on this.
He was on the Horse and Carriage remix with Cameron, and he actually runs that verse. I don't like the whole song. I got like Sook the Shocker on there, Cameron, but Pun runs his verse on that joint too, man. He got some dope joints.
Pun was in that category of like the next wave. It was DMX, Cannabis, Big Pun, and who else at the table?
Came out in '98. So
what's that video of them freestyling? Who else was at that table? It was Pun, Cannabis, DMX. Mos Def was at the table. It was in a club. Remember that?
I remember. I'm trying to remember who the other person is. I don't know. That's gonna come to me after we finish. Watch.
I don't know, but yeah, Pun was like those was the next wave of '98.
Right.
Move, you know, you take the hip hop to the next level.
Anybody out today that reminds you of a Big Pun?
I'm gonna say Puerto Rican wise, it's gotta be Joel Ortiz.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say like today like new, but Puerto Rican wise, Joel Ortiz is at the top of the list. Yeah. Like that dude is ill lyrically, and you can't tell me that Big Pun didn't inspire him. That dude's ill. Then I also like a little more underground, but also dope Terminology on a Spanish hip hop tip is Terminology, and then on more of a commercial tip, PD Crack, like PD Crack, PD Crack.
I can see your vision.
The Big Pun commercial side.
I can see your vision,
the Big Pun commercial side, PD Crack. I was trying to think of like black guys because I know he inspired black artists too. I was trying to think of a black artist that I could think. That reminds me of Big Pun, but nobody particularly came to mind like right at the top when I was thinking about it. But I know he inspired a lot of black,
You can tell the influence though. It's like this man just planted seeds and everybody just ran with it, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Man. Absolutely. But everybody in the Spanish community, the Bronx, Remy Ma. Yeah. That's Big Pun.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she can even do his verse on Twins Deep Cover 98 is super dope. And she does it flawlessly. I love watching her do that. I think that's like the ultimate like, huh?
None.
That's the ultimate big up, man, to her like holding Pun down. She holds Pun down, man. And I respect that. So what do you think Big Pun would be like if he was alive today at 50 years old?
An animal. An animal biting jokers' heads off for real. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully in better health. You know what I'm saying?
I actually think I was one of the first things I was gonna say before music is I think he would have lost a lot of weight. Cause Fat Joe, I'm sure Big Pun inspired that, but he lost a lot of weight compared to how big he was back then. And I think the whole Big Pun situation inspired that. But I think he would have lost weight. He would have had like 2 to 3 classic, the dope projects, after Capital Punishment.
Definitely been the big dog of Terror Squad.
Yeah, though. I think Terror Squad would have had a longer run.
You'd have had a Cuban Link, everybody all still together.
Cuban Link and them would have had a more success. They would have had some success under their route. Fat Joe did his thing and he recovered, but he would have been even more success rolling with Pun like old times. I'm sure Big Pun would have been a bigger part, because he'd have been around for Remy Ma. So he would have been a bigger, part of co-signing her and helping her career. And it probably would have definitely made it easier for her, to come out. Because she was a respected MC, but I think rolling with Pun would have made it a lot easier for her.
Hell of a co-sign.
And I think he would have put other MCs on. You wouldn't be surprised if the Joel Ortiz came out under Pun, or the Terminology, them type dudes. He would have found black and Latino. He would have had dudes that I don't know if he'd have had his own. He'd have probably had his own situation too, separate from Terror Squad. But I think it would have still been love with Terror Squad. I don't think him and Fat Joe would have fell out. And then I think the whole family unity with his family, Cuban Links and all of them, and Terror Squad and Fat Joe, I think all of that would have been loved today.
Yeah. Stuff probably would have never happened.
Oh, yeah. But I definitely think he would have had, musically, I think he'd have still been a problem. And he also would have been there to mentor his son. which would have been super dope. Chris Rivers. So that would, because his son can rap. His son, I heard his son. His son can really rap. His son can rap. Now he doesn't make the songs like Big Pun, the commercial songs, but as far as bars lyrically,
he got something.
He can rap. He definitely can rap. Big Pun, 50 years. He'd have been 50 years old.
50 years old, bro.
That's crazy. That's
50 is a blessing, man. For those that still living.
50 is a blessing.
Getting old is cool, man.
This man passed away when he was
getting old is cool.
He been gone for 22 years.
That's crazy, yo.
Wow. So, like, what is Big Pun's legacy in the game?
I think one of the dopest MCs, but still like one of the biggest what ifs. Like we just never know. Like it was so. Like look at his impact. He was only in the game for like maybe what. 3 years?
I think 3 years. I mean, you gotta really pretty much say like
4 to 5 at the most.
98. Maybe you want to count 97, but pretty much it was 98 to 2000.
That's it.
That was it. Maybe 97 to 2000, but that's like a 3 to 4 year run. Where this guy was nice, then he passed away. Like it wasn't a long run. This wasn't a long run at all.
Nah, it wasn't at all.
But the impact is
huge,
monumental,
huge. And I know we had our arguments, as far as he got, he got in now, right? To the concert. He got into the Concert Hall of Fame. But we had back and forths over the years only because he didn't have a large body of work, which is a fair argument when you're dealing amongst the greats. But man, his legacy, man, he had a star-studded, short-lived career. It was a star-studded, short-lived, and he left a great impact in that short window of time to me. Like he left a great impact, man. And then you got like artists like Fat Joe, Remy Ma, even Nori, his son Chris Rivers, that I think they really keep his legacy alive. They keep his name ringing. And shout out to his wife and his other kids. She keeps his name ringing too. My personal wish is that her and Fat Joe and all them could come to some kind of peace. Even Cuban Link with Fat Joe and all them, I wish they could just come for peace, just because I think that would be dope for Big Pun. Kind of like when Little Kim and Little C's and them kind of squashed their little thing. It just felt good for hip-hop, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a way to honor Kim. But I think they all carry, they hold the flag for Big Pun heavy.
I mean, not to cut you off, but Pun got a street named after him. How dope is that? In the Bronx. That's serious. That's forever.
His own street.
Even when Fat Joe does the lives, he got a picture of a Big Pun, Big Pun in back of him. So that's always dope. Remy Ma's always, showing him love. His son be freestyling over like his beats, and he be killing it, man. Chris Rivers can really rap, man. He's dope. But Fat Joe said he respects him. He loves his son. He just don't, because of the mom thing, he don't want to interfere and get in between it. He just kind of staying out of it, but he wishes him the best. That's the only reason, he ain't trying to, get involved in all that, because out of the respect of his mom and all that issue, he don't want to come in between it or nothing like that. So I want to see them, I would like to see them somehow try to patch that up a little bit for the sake of Big Pun. But, this man, he had a legendary short-lived career with a hell of an impact. He influenced a whole generation. Some hell of a singles,
some hell of a features.
Yeah.
Big Pun was always, man, Big Pun can go with the best of them.
And he was competitive, which I love. Yeah. So he wanted to get on, the Just Blaze, Fat Joe said he wanted to get on there with Nas and, the Raekwon and Jada. Put me on there with the Locks and all that. I want to get on that track. So he was competitive, and I respect it, and he showed up. He got lyrics where I was just hearing some stuff from him this year where I was like, damn, I didn't realize he was saying that.
I get that now.
Because his flow was sometimes the way his flow was, I didn't know, I just caught it. I'm in Banned from TV when he was because he was sometimes I couldn't really catch everything he was saying. But he was saying, I think I got a grandson. I was thinking he was saying I got a grand, money. Yeah. He said I got a grandson. So he was saying I think I got a grandson because I'm sonning so many of y'all. I think I got a grandson. But the way his delivery, the way he was saying it, it was kind of hard to catch. I'm like, damn, that's what he was saying all these years, man. Super dope lyricist, man. Super dope MC.
One of the best.
Rest in peace to Big Pun.
Absolutely, man.
Legend in the game.
Legend.
Thank you for all your legacy. Thank you for all your legacy, Big Pun. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for all you did for the game, Big Pun, man.
Culture, man. Just moving it forward, man.
Legend in the game.
Just
legend
another stepping stone to moving the game forward.
Condolences to his family, you know what I'm saying, his wife, Cuban links, all of them, and they holding them down, man. They holding them down
team.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We definitely thank you, Big Pun, man. 50 years old.
Show our love, man.
50 years old.
We had to do it.
It's only
We
right.
had to do this episode.
Word.
It's only right.
We definitely had to. We gotta celebrate Big Pun. He had a hell of an influence, man. Salute TS. Bronx stand up. New York stand up. The whole Spanish community stand up, man. Puerto Rican community. This guy held y'all down. He put y'all on his back. So we going to celebrate him here at the Concert Crew Podcast. Happy birthday, Big Pun. Rest in peace, brother. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you, King. Salute. Anything else you got, fellas, want to say about Big Pun?
Big Pun, man. 50.
I just think also like Pun being Latin, like he took it international. Even though we might not see it on this side of the world, I'm sure like Puerto Rico, all these other countries out there, like just
he got songs that'll live a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he just spread the hip hop even further,
especially in this community.
Right.
So
man.
even like the whole pit bulls and like Pun, the whole reggaeton, all that stuff, man. It's a whole nother ball game, just spreading hip hop.
Yeah, for sure, man. Rest in peace to Big Pun. Salute, man. We Concert Crew Podcast. We're going to keep on celebrating all these legends, man. We definitely going to celebrate these legends. Make sure y'all go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast.
Subscribe.
Make sure y'all go download, subscribe. We on all digital platforms.
Yes, sir.
Make sure y'all go to our YouTube page. Make sure you go subscribe and check out all of our videos.
Yeah.
Yo, we here.
We ain't going
We
nowhere.
ain't going nowhere. Salute Big Pun, man. TS, rest in peace. Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader. We out.
Yep.
Yeah.